Hello everyone, how you doing? This is Joshua. Now, this is part 10 on school and campus safety. Yeah, I know it's been a little bit since I've did part 9, and it's been a little bit before I did part 9. And also, let me remind you again, if I'm inside this building or any other building that requires masks, I gotta wear it. And I know a lot of a lot of areas in Massachusetts are ending the mask mandates, as well as many school districts are ending mask mandates. But some are still placing them in place, and some are still having mask mandates in place. Because the thing is, everyone's split about the mask mandate. And I know, yes, it's doing a lot to a lot of people. It's done a lot of damage to children in some ways. And yes, I understand everybody's frustration, and I understand and see both sides. See, that's the thing about myself is I always want to hear all sides. So, yeah. But as far as campus and school safety goes, there's been like more concerns about it. But here's another thing that's got my attention is, school districts that want to confiscate students' phones as soon as they arrive on school grounds. That's very concerning because, school districts never had thoughts of doing that until, people saw in the media that there's been a series of fights going on in the schools because students were like recording the fights. You see, that's the problem right there. That's where another concern is like, you know, school districts want to take away students' phones right before they even go to class, everything like that. I just think that's a little strange and maybe suspicious because that was never an issue, as far as I know, because there should not be any problems having a cell phone in the classroom as long as you're not messing with it during class. When class is in session, obviously yeah, you got to keep your cell phone off and out of sight. But but apparently, school districts want to take away phones from students before they go to class because the way I see it is because they don't want people to film fights and everything. And it's been going on like in between classes or at lunchtime. Now, hold on. If the students are filming the fights and the fights are happening like in between classes or lunchtime, that is their time. They're not in a violation or anything like that because I know students at lunchtime in between classes, they're looking on their phones, showing friends some funny videos or anything like that. But yeah, if they're out there filming fights, it's going on in between classes at lunchtime, they're not breaking the rules. They're not, because that is their time. Take a 5 minute break or take a lunch break. So really, if school districts really want to take students' cell phone away before classes start, I'll say it again. That sounds kind of suspicious to me, because it sounds like they're trying to hide something. And like I said, if the students are messing with their phones at class time, yes, take it away from them. But if they're in class, not mess with their phones, do what they're supposed to do, then yes, they should keep their phones on them. And see, as I kept saying in the previous videos, that, now is the time for all school officials, parents, coaches, law enforcement, across the state of Massachusetts to get together and talk about, school and safety, everything, because, it's been getting more concerned increasingly. Because look what happened in Framingham, Massachusetts. In Framingham, police are investigating, you know, a fight after a brawl was seen on video. Yeah, I'll say it again. I'll be more clear about it. Police in Framingham are investigating a high school fight after the video was shown that there was a brawl in the locker room at Framingham High School. Yeah. And then also, there's been like other incidents, at a school in Worcester, because there was a special needs student being charged for assault and battery after he or she assaulted a faculty member. And then even in Attleboro, a student was attacked because it's unknown if it had something to do with the student being transgender or anything. But either way, it's wrong to attack anyone. And I hope the student at Attleboro was okay. And also, there's another, incident that's really, very concerning is like when college campuses have construction or road construction, there are times where they don't put up a sign that says sidewalk closed or crosswalk closed because recently 2 UMass students was walking, near a construction site, and the weather made visibility poor, and a student was struck on Massachusetts Avenue on the UMass Amherst campus. And then the student later died at Bay State Medical Center because according to the Hampshire County District's Attorney's Office, there's still an investigation going on. There still is. But in the meantime, UMass Amherst, they need to do a better job putting signs that says crosswalk closed, sidewalk closed. Because everywhere else I see, they have signs that says sidewalk closed, crosswalk closed when there's construction going on. Because that is required by law. And another thing people need to understand that it is dangerous to be speeding in school zones. Because that is another problem on the UMass Amherst campus, is people speeding. And it's not just the UMass Amherst campuses that speeding's been a problem at. It's been going on at other colleges across Massachusetts as well as other colleges across the nation. And also, I want to add in this video too that there's been a series of break-ins going on at the Harvard University campus dorms. Yes, there have been. And they got the person who was breaking in the dorms. And yes, that person is facing charges, everything like that. And now the person, they were supposed to be out on bail, but then they got revoked because of 2 other open cases. See, yes, I know it's the student's responsibility to make sure, they don't let any strangers or anyone they don't recognize into the dorms. But also, security, that's the college's responsibility to make sure it's safe. Especially if Harvard's one of actually the richest college in the nation and possibly the world. Harvard University, really, it shouldn't take break-ins like that to beef up more security. Not to mention that the way you treated the janitors and security, I'm like, I'm sure some of them didn't want to come back because of the way they've been treated. But really, security is important, especially during a pandemic. Especially during a pandemic, security is important because you got to keep it safe, and also keep the gate closed. Because I understand you want to loosen restrictions and everything like that, but people that don't have any affiliation, I wouldn't let them in the buildings because obviously you don't know if they've been tested, they've been vaccinated, and all that. Because seriously, because at one Massachusetts college, the only people that's allowed in the buildings on campus is students and employees, no one else. I'm like, that's the way it should be. And then there's this other college in Massachusetts, not saying the name of it, but 50 students tested positive. Yeah. And they had to you know, tighten the restrictions and tighten the protocols. Yeah, man, because I know it's tough. I know it seems a little ridiculous, but it's about liability. That's what it is. Yeah, so I don't want to take any more time on this video because yeah, it's about to be 12 minutes in the video. So yeah, I was gonna cut this for now. So stay tuned for part 11 and be safe and be well, everyone. Thank you.